Hey everyone, this is Rocky from WeLearnChess.com, and again I'm late recording here because I wasn't really planning on recording, but I got a game in this line that I had on my previous video, so we are going to take a look here. Yeah, so okay, he plays the best move d4, so he's looked at this before. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to play d5 here too. So kick this bishop. He should play bishop b5 to pin this knight so that it can't just snap off this pawn. Yeah, but he drops it back here. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I said in my last video that I can just take this. So let me see what's going on here. If I'm remembering this right. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to take this. That's what I said, right? Gotta play my lines here if I'm gonna recommend them. Now take back here. If he takes with the queen, okay. So bishop c5, I would be hitting f2 a couple times, but he could take on g7. He is hitting g7. Should I play c5? He can just take here. Okay. Either I play this wrong or I think I forgot something because he shouldn't have anything. Okay, should I play should I play bishop e6? It just seems too passive. Bishop e6, he might try to bump this knight. Bishop e6. But if he plays, he can't play f3 because then I can pin his queen. Okay, this seems slow, but I'm going to try it. And hopefully I would like to play c5 first. Although c5 he has the check. He also has the check with the bishop. So I might have to play c6. Another idea might be queen h4. The idea of then bishop c5. Okay. So yeah, he sees that. Yeah, he's playing this well here. So bishop c5, queen takes g7. And I've got to move the rook. I don't really see how that's good for me. Queen h4 is playing with a little bit of fire and the fact that he might be able to play f3. If he takes with a knight, takes. Takes, I ended up with doubled pawns on the e file. They're pretty weak. c5, he could play the check with either piece here, so probably not a good idea. He is hitting this pawn 3 times, so maybe c6 right now, but then takes, he wins a pawn, so I might have to take this. I might have to. Okay, queen f6 maybe? Takes, but he could also check. Queen f6, queen check or bishop check c6. If he takes on f6 with the queen and I take back, I still have 2 pieces protecting this pawn. And I would still be holding on to the pawn there. Let's try this. Is he, what? Am I getting forked? I mean, he can win the rook, but... Okay, so if I step here, I'm potentially getting into a pin. If I go here, though, I can't really take off the... I want to stay out of any pins here. Yeah, probably I should do that. because he might be able to escape with his knight. Yeah, okay. Alright, so just back, I guess. He does have this check. Back here, check. F6, maybe a rook here to here. Yeah, still. At least force him to get this knight out of my territory here and see if we can survive this. The moment I have this check square covered, he could play f3 though. But if he plays f3, maybe I just take the knight. So maybe he should take the rook first, I take, then f3. Really? Okay. He's probably going to try to kick this knight. I can play knight f6 to you know, stop this, but then he might be able to pin this knight and then try to go after the e pawn. Yeah, I didn't really want to block my dark square bishop in, but potentially maybe he had something pinning my queen. The other variation. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I want to, if he moves the bishop, I'll have a check, but he might check this way. And then he's getting all sorts of stuff here, so, yeah, I don't know if there's a great way to do this, except that I might have to accept the loss of a pawn. I just don't want to lose a whole bunch of material with discovered checks afterwards. Okay, so yeah. Okay. At least here. Okay, hold on a second. If I go here, bishop takes e6, king takes e6, and then he can win the queen. So I don't want to do that. And my pieces are really about queen a5. To at least be able to take this bishop if he wants to sacrifice it. I don't think he will, but at the very least, too, I could take this rook with the queen. And then 1, 2, 3. I'm still up a piece. Yeah. I think I'm going to do this in the name of simplicity here. Because, I mean, here I think everything's protected. And, yeah, I mean, okay. You get a pawn. I mean, I'm going to get the pawn back anyway. He does have 3 pawns at the moment, although I get one back and I get rook activity. Okay, so I want to develop my bishop, get my other rook over, and try to trade a rook here, and then hopefully I'll be able to win some pawns. Okay, yeah, I have to be careful here. Okay, king back here. Well, I'll probably have to go back here. What about just c6? Decisions. This lets me potentially bring my bishop out. I want to get it out on the next move here. It's also holding this d6 square in case the rook tries to come in. The rook could go back to the e file, I guess. Which case I might have to be careful about where I put my bishop. Okay, so I can force the trade of a piece here, and I'll do that. Yeah. Okay. Alright, so he does have these aggressive pawns, but I should be able to set up even some mating threats here. So, I mean, he can play a check. Okay. And now we'll threaten this, and if he checks me, I'll move forward, hitting his rook and setting up a couple things. He can't even come down to... He can't even check me, or... Can't even play down to d7. And now I'm going to double up on the second here. I just want to make sure there's nothing better. It's hard to see something better. He could push the pawn, I guess, and then try to push the bump the knight away. But actually he can't push the pawn because then he just gets checkmated. Yeah. So that was pretty crazy. I don't know. Let me look at it really quickly in the analysis board, and then I'll turn on computer analysis. But I want to try to look at it first. So I've been playing pretty bad tonight, actually, and today. It's around 2:15 my time in the morning. Always playing these late night games. And yeah, I just played a standard game and I totally blew it. Okay, so analysis board, and let's take a look. Okay, so yeah, something felt like I already didn't do this right. Yeah, I think I was supposed to take on f2 in one of these lines. But do I do it here? I think this pawn has to be gone first. He took this. This just feels so wrong. Yeah, see here, I wasn't really sure about this. Because I do have to move this. I'm not really so much worried about the pawns because it opens up an attack on his king too. It's just that I feel like I'm in trouble because, I mean, he could play something like this here. I am covering this though at the moment. If you can do something like this here. Actually, can I even have do I have a discovery here actually? Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, here he's totally losing. So actually, okay, well, oops. Maybe even here immediately. Then I just take it. Yeah, that's a strong. So if he takes here, now I do have to be a little bit careful. So I have to defend this rook, but also like after here, he's threatening to take this, and he's threatening to play over here and pin this. I guess. Okay, yeah, maybe he can play here first. Then I have that one important move to castle, and now his king is really wide open. So that's actually interesting too. I'm not sure if I'm playing the best moves there. I have to look at the analysis there, but okay. Let's go back to the beginning. So I played this, and he just blundered his queen, but it was not too easy for a little while. I was surprised here. I mean, I don't know. He should probably at least try to get my queen out of play. And then, like, he doesn't even have to take this bishop yet, because if I take it, then he takes probably with the a-pawn, and he's got at least one move with the tempo here. Plus, he doesn't want to, like, initiate the trades. But I think he had a good idea. I mean, I saw his idea. Maybe this was stronger than just taking the rook, because... Oops. Because he saw that he was going to get this attack here, and I think we both saw, because I mentioned it in the commentary. And it was nice to bump this knight, because the knight was also protecting against this check. He also had this idea maybe of skewering the queen, so I wanted to at least save the queen here, because if I lose the queen back, then it's a big problem. And here I was just hoping that I didn't... Here, I mostly wanted to stop this check. I mean, I was already thinking about ideas of taking the rook. And I saw that after I took the rook that he would still have the discovered check, but at this point I'm 2 pieces up, so... yeah, I mean, he gets a pawn, but he doesn't really even get a pawn. Yeah, and that's... I mean, he's just frustrated here, I guess. He has to... he could drop the bishop back. He could try to put it here to be annoying. At least that stops my bishop from going to d6. But, yeah, I mean, at the very least, I can develop with check and I get my other piece out. Not really sure where it's best to go. But yeah, even here, I'm just simply threatening to just take the rook off, and if the rook gets off, then he's really in trouble. So, yeah, here was kind of a moot point, but let's take a look here and see. Whoops, let's reset it first, because if you don't reset it, then I think it runs the analysis on the lines you put in there. All right, well, I'll come back when it's run, and we can take a look. Okay, so we're back here, and it looks like I had another blunder-free game. That's good, but I did have 2 mistakes. Mistakes are usually pretty bad, so it's not great, plus an inaccuracy. I did have mostly excellent moves as compared to subpar moves. That's nice. I like these classifications. Okay, so let's start here and see what we got. And okay, d4, d5. Up to here we're both fine, according to chess.com computer analysis. And here, yeah, I could have sworn that I recommended taking with the knight here, but maybe it was a different line. But maybe, yeah, the idea was to take with the pawn, and then after knight takes to play bishop c5, kind of x-raying the f2 square. Probably in that case he would take on c6 with the knight, takes, at least damage the pawn structure. Okay, so I took the knight, which seems like it wasn't as good given the game continuation. And, okay, well, the computer doesn't really mention the bishop c5 move here, so maybe it wasn't that good. I'll have to look at Stockfish to see. Here, okay, it seems to think that's okay. So queen f6 is a mistake. So the best move was knight f6, just coming back here. You know, I didn't even consider that. I don't know why I didn't. It's a pretty natural move. Keeps the queen off this diagonal so that I can get my bishop out to probably d6 here in this case. And yeah, if he tries to attack this pawn again, I always have c6, so I don't think that's too bad. This is just the computer line here. Yeah, it's a pretty crazy line. I mean, that would be a little bit tough to deal with, that's for sure. Like after takes, queen takes, hitting the rook, and the king's open for checks. That would be pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Okay, so yeah, knight takes, giving up the queen. That was kind of crazy. But yeah, so yeah, king e7. Yeah, I mean, this is in a sense the more natural move because it allows my dark square bishop to get out. And yeah, that really, and you know what I didn't consider in the game was that if I went here and he takes the rook, I can play out here, and the knight really isn't getting out, and he is a couple moves, he's 2 moves away from pinning the queen, but with my bishop on d6, then it really wouldn't be pinned. That's kind of, I didn't see that, where the queen wouldn't really be getting pinned, and then I would be fine. And this would have been a lot easier to play just because it was really hard to get my dark square bishop out, and I was all tangled up. So yeah, I shouldn't have worried so much about that. But in any case, I think all this felt pretty even. I mean, the computer probably finds a way to keep the queen, but I just, I don't know. I mean, it was so much simpler to play this, and this was so obviously winning. Especially in Blitz games, I feel like if you have that opportunity, you know, what do we hear? I'm up 2 full pieces for 2 pawns, so he's got nothing. Yeah, the computer might find a more precise way to have done that, but I was down to around 2 minutes or something at that time, so just played this and got onto a light square, and okay, yeah, this isn't really probably even worth looking at here. But yeah, so yeah, all I can do is maybe give one meaningless check, and then I even pick up his only hope, which is his queenside majority. It was a pretty interesting game. Forgot my own line there with e takes instead of knight takes in the beginning here. So something to remember for myself. So e takes followed by bishop c5 to keep the complications going and kind of force white into some simplifications that he probably doesn't want to deal with, and then in the end black is just ahead and develop it. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you around for the next one.